Yeah, you're good, man. Thank you very much, Rave. It's time to welcome Prolly and Robotics Lee to the desk. Don't worry, your headsets all work. We're going to be happy.
Okay.
So I want to actually bring something to your attention, Prolly. So you've now beaten Cloud9 twice.
Yeah.
The only team to have ever beaten Cloud9 twice in the regular season is Vulcan, and they went to Worlds. Are you ready to go to Worlds?
Yep, I think this means we're going to Worlds right now. Beating Cloud9 twice, easy. Now it's Worlds.
Now it's Worlds. Okay, so let's actually pull attention to the game in itself, because you had a very interesting team composition. So you put the Yasuo together at the very end, but at what point were you like, Shyvana Tristana Yasuo combo? When was that the idea?
Ooh, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't feel comfortable telling my strats, but
Gosh.
I guess I could give a little secret. it was planned from the beginning.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As far as Tristana Yasuo, it's a very broken combo. Well, actually, we only got it off once that whole game,
Yeah.
but we've been trying. Jump onto the carries and just buster shot and try to hit a carry, and then that's like the delivery for Yasuo, and that was our main goal in the game, and swapping as soon as we finish a main item, and putting Tristana middle allows her to farm middle while farming the jungle, the Wraiths and Wolves, which is why I was able to get items earlier compared to double lift earlier on Tristana. Didn't get rolling,
Yeah.
and couldn't get his main items quick enough.
So I have a lot of follow-ups in this then, because there's a lot of things in there. So one, the choice of comp, once again going back to that one, was that saying, okay, against C9, was there a specific reason it was against Cloud9, or what was that for? You said you knew the comp, you knew you were going to run the comp coming into the game.
Funny story, the reason why we actually figured out that comp was because our manager was telling us that, because we were playing on our Smurf accounts, and we were just figuring out lanes what to like troll around and have fun with. And he was like, yo, you guys should play AP Tristana and Yasuo bot lane. I was like, okay.
that's actually
And
true.
then and then we realized, like, dude, the delivery system on Tristana, because her jump is insane, and they made it so that her buster shot range scales with her levels. So you could potentially engage onto her backline within like 2,000, 3,000 range, and it's pretty insane.
Yeah, it seemed to work out really well for you guys, and of course Shyvana helped as well. I want to keep pressing you on the Shyvana stuff then. So, the Tristana stuff. So the static shift first. Talk to me about the reason behind that item. Was that to wave clear mid? Was that to make the jungle faster?
I learned it from, if you're familiar with the challenges scene, his name was Flappy Bearfish. He was
Flappy Bear God.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I learned
Flappy
from this
Godfish.
first item, static shift. Initially, I was like, man, this guy silly. Good save.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is questionable. But then once you realize, like, yeah, the components to static shift are awful for lane phase. But as soon as you get the static shift, you have the ability to shove, which synergizes well with her explosive shot. So you could clear out waves like almost instantly before even the minions even hit, and you could just walk away from the lane and just go farm jungle. And that's how I feel that you can avoid Tristana's weak mid game, by accelerating the farming phase.
That was cool. It actually seemed to work really well for you guys, and as you mentioned, you got ahead. So probably I want to talk to you then about having to play Yasuo in 1v2. You get thrown in there like 8 minutes in, and we're like, God, this is going to suck for him. Like, you're already
Yeah.
fighting his Ziggs. So what'd you do about that?
That actually didn't go as planned. We lane swapped, but we didn't swap when we had enough pressure. So basically, Morgana just stayed bot and was able to basically dumpster me with a 2v1. Ideally, that swap will go where Morg has to leave bot lane to attend to mid, but they had a Ziggs, so Ziggs kind of shut that down a bit.
Yep.
So we basically just lost bot turret for free, which wasn't a big deal, because the second our bot turret went down and I stayed bot, Caitlyn could never come to that lane, and neither could Ziggs. If you saw at one point they sent Ziggs bot and it didn't work, they sent Caitlyn bot, didn't work, because, yeah, basically they had nothing to get by being there, and then they could never fight me 1v1 in such a long lane.
Nice. So that obviously worked out for you. So let's actually get ourselves then into more of the meat of the game, because obviously you guys did a great job. Pull up our first replay. You had a lot of hectic team fights. I think this is actually the one where you tried to bust your shot backwards. This is a 3-for-3 in the mid lane. Robert, if you actually want to start this fight, since you're the instigator.
Okay, so I remember Westray saying that he wanted to initiate. I think I wanted to jump onto high, but probably we get the combo here. Yeah. Oh my God, this is literally the one time. It's like, oh my God, we actually did it this time.
Was that the comp the entire time?
that was the comp. Like, we actually did it. and I think it went overall.
Just see it again, just to make sure.
Yeah, so we get the combo over. Nexon's actually sitting on my face, and I'm just playing back at this point. So we actually pushed our way, and I think I jump onto Sneaky right here, and he crits me. I get crit on him too, so I guess it's fair. but he gets a crit on me on this last shot. I was like, oh my god, I'm so emo right now. And from here, I think, yeah, Bubba gets a kill. And overall, it was a 3 for 3, which is really good because our comp scales a lot harder than theirs just because we had Tristana. Tristana can 1v5 the game once she gets 6 items.
Yeah, and it seemed to work out really well for you guys. You had a really good score. You went 5-2-4 that game, so that was pretty impressive.
So did I.
No, you didn't. You went 1-4 probably.
Yeah.
That's not.
That was part of the comp, really.
Going 1-4.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
saw when I ulted onto Ziggs and they all focused me. They're focusing an 0-4 champion. Part of the strat.
Be worth less gold. Get a bunch of death.
Yeah,
no kill sprees.
Usually when you see a Yasuo like slashing on your carries, like, oh my god, protect our carries. But they kill him, I get free roam.
Oh, good job. Perfect. Yeah, and that worked
Planned
out.
from the beginning, right?
Teamwork.
It's a really complex strategy. Now, moving on to the second replay we have, it's the mid tier 2 tower dive, the flash Shyvana ulti here. Probably if you want to walk us through killing the backline as 0-4.
Oh, yeah. So West gets full props to this because he asks, can we dive this? And he says, yeah, and just goes for it. And he actually gets 3-man on his ult, which is really good because Morgan couldn't black shield it. And then the second that happened, all we have to do is just chase them down. And then once they pass that inhib turret, it's like, all right, let's just back up and get that free turret now.
Yeah. So then how do you temper sort of the self-control of getting sort of as much as you can from the fight while not being too passive that we're like just waiting for the late game comp forever?
It's almost like a guess and check. Like you have to kind of practice that in scrims, like going that aggressive and then realizing your limits. That was something we tried in scrims is like diving, practicing diving. So that's why Wes made that call so perfect. And then the second we saw like Renekton was too far out and he was a tank, it was like, yeah, let's just cut our wins right there. We got 2 kills. Let's go take the turret and then play it slower. In solo queue, that's where the team would dive the Renekton and then they'd lose their entire lead. So this was our adaptation to solo queue. Like let's just go back and get the turret instead.
It's LCS, not solo queue. Don't make the same moves. I like that. It's a good choice. So then, also to think about this game, you talked about your late game being a lot better. C9 had a couple of early game leads. I think they got first blood if I remember properly. They did a lot of good things. Yeah, you died. That's right. Good job. But how do you sort of withstand that? Because they have this siege of like Caitlyn and Ziggs and like Renekton split pushing. Like, how do you sort of hold on when they're kind of at the gates the whole time?
I actually found it really easy. Usually you're like, oh my god, Ziggs, Caitlyn, they're an amazing siege duo composition. But with our Tristana, Yasuo, we can engage whenever we feel like, unless Lemon lands a bind onto you.
Yeah.
So that ruined our comp pretty hard. But that was our idea, is that if they try to force the siege, then we have hard initiate.
Yeah.
And that was why I wasn't too afraid. And if they don't decide to push, then we just farm. And it's either they push and we get a good engage and win the game, or we farm and outscale them.
Wow, and that seemed to work really well for you guys. So final question then. You guys face Curse tomorrow. The 3 teams you have wins over, Dignitas, Curse, Cloud9. Of course, you've now made that 2-0 against C9. Curse, you have a win against. How are you feeling against tomorrow's match?
I'm pretty good. I'm really curious if they'll bait me into picking Yasuo again, just so they can feed off of me. But I feel like Yasuo is probably going to be played tomorrow, and I kind of want to play against it or as it and see what he plays. So I think mid will be really fun tomorrow.
One final question, actually. How many more times will you mispronounce Yasuo?
Yasuo?
Yasuo.
Yosu?
Okay.
Yosu.
Thanks.
Yosu. There we go.
You're pronouncing it wrong. It's Yosu.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Congrats on the win. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to move on to people who can speak English correctly. We've got more action coming up after the break, and we'll see how